Okay, we're leaving Rota to Canaries. After sailing 8,000 nautical miles in the Mediterranean, this journey from Gibraltar to the Canaries freaked us out more than any other. So in this video, we share our journey and even some tips if you're going to make that passage from Gibraltar to the Canaries.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey long.
We're into the first night watch of the probably 3 or 4 night passage. We've come straight out into some heavy gusts, which we were expecting, but obviously it makes for uncomfortable sailing, and everybody's in bed. Not everybody's feeling terrific. It's cold. It's amazing how used to the milder weather you get when you're in the Mediterranean. It's quite heavy traffic. We've got a lot of traffic going to and from the Straits of Gibraltar, so we're having to sort of weave between the cargo ships. The gusts are going anywhere from 12 knots to about 22 knots, so it doesn't make for the easiest of sail. Swell is about 1.5 meters, 2 meters. We ran a few departure time scenarios on our predict wind software. It's the first time we've really used the professional version, because we bought it with the Iridium Go. It looked like Sunday was going to be good, but then we ran again this morning and it looked like sort of mid-afternoon today was a good time to leave, so we quickly got ready and left. I mean, we were pretty much stocked up anyway, ready to go. Last night we stayed in the marina because the Friday night was a storm passing through, which is what we're catching the back end of now, which is why it's a bit lumpy. We did hope to get around to see Cadiz, but most places are shut and the water taxi was closed. So it was a shame to miss that city because it's got a lot of history, but that's not the reason we were there. The reason we were there was to get a better angle on the wind to get down to the Canaries. So we set off a bit earlier than we planned to kind of catch the back end of the storm that blew through on Friday. Does mean we're going to be ragged along a bit in the first 24 hours, but after that it should be fairly plain sailing. But we'll wait and see. Anyway.
The mornings and it's day 2. It's day 2 and 3 days until we get to our destination, the Canary Islands.
Okay, so we left last night. This is the next day. Here we encounter the Atlantic swell that everyone goes on about, which actually isn't too bad. Everyone's just getting their sea legs, so we're all a bit quiet and a bit tired, but we're all starting to eat a little bit now, which is good. And yeah, hoping for some good wind.
I've got for lunch the best food ever.
What is it?
Meatballs.
So that's our Iridium Go box, and this is it downloading the group files for the weather routing and weather data.
So as we're sailing, there's lots of squalls, which are not very nice.
First time it's rained on passage.
What have we got today then? We've got ribs, salad. How's the ribs, Darroch?
We should do microwave ribs more often.
How are the ribs, Ewan? Right, that's the last rib, so you can have a bite and pass it round.
Good tuna, isn't it?
What?
It's good tuna.
Larry?
Matt, because the sauce looks like blood, it's just like...
Okay, you can pass it round for another bite.
We need to get more ribs.
No, I'll give it to Dad, my bite.
Dad!
See, us women are civilised, aren't we, Mum?
It's the third day at sea. We've just had ribs for lunch, some salad. Still not caught a fish, but still trying.
We should do microwave
Rather
ribs
exciting
more
until we
often.
realised it was a lure pulling, not a fish.
Everyone's feeling a little bit better now. Sleep is getting better, and so is eating. And the sea state has calmed down a bit now.
Smash it up with you, get the marrow out the middle.
The waves probably are about 3 metres, but there's a massive space between them. It's about 12 seconds, and so you don't really feel the swell. It's really fine. How many seconds, Ewan?
So a wave goes, and then the distance between the other one is 18 seconds or more.
Okay, I don't know what day it is. Saturday's day 1, Sunday's day 2, Monday's day 3, Tuesday's day 4. So we're on day 4. Kind of a lot of motoring actually, even though it forecast to be a little bit of winds. We've begun sailing and then motoring and sailing, motoring. It's a bit annoying, but at least not all motoring. Should arrive sometime tomorrow. So I think everyone will be glad to get back on land, really.
3, 2, 1, go! Come on, harder! Go, 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 go! Come on!
Burning off steam is something they can't do very well on a boat.
He's not dead yet. Come on, harder, harder, harder! Come on, faster!
I'm doing dinner. Today I'm cooking it in the pressure cooker, which is why I'm holding on to it, because I'm doing it on the induction hob. There's no way of holding on the induction hob, so I've got to make sure that doesn't like fly off. Rowan's helping me out in the kitchen. We're making a pasta dish. It's lots of plain stuff for these passages really, until we all get used to the sea and getting our sea legs. So I kind of make stuff that everyone's used to, and it's a lot of pasta and rice and all that business really. A lot more vegetarian than meat, because some of us prefer not to eat meat, although the boys do want to eat meat, like ribs. This is one of their things they'll eat. I can't bear it on passage. So yeah, just trying to cater for everyone and keep everyone happy.
So we've got a lot of swell behind us at the moment. We've got about a 3 metre swell following, which is corkscrewing the boat a bit, which means that people aren't feeling too great. We haven't had any cases of seasickness, which is good, but people are a bit off the food, which usually means I put on loads of weight because I end up clearing all the food off the plates. The other good thing that we did in our Miramar was cut the poles down, because we've had quite a lot of swaying and dipping, and we cut the poles down by about roughly half a metre, which makes them more manageable and means that they don't dip in the water. So that's been a good thing. The watch system went pretty well. We started introducing Rowan to the watch system. She's been starting on an early night watch anyway, so just in preparation for the Atlantic. Give the wave. This is Rowan. for the first night watch. What's happening, Rowan?
Nothing.
Yay! So, in a sense, this has been a kind of a mini trial for our transatlantic crossing. There's a few things that have come up, like the structure of the day breaks down quite quickly. So I think we're going to have a more rigid structure to the day. The schooling has kind of gone by the wayside. Meal times have become quite simplistic affairs. But we are managing to rotate. The watch system's gone well. People have been getting them on time. It is quite tiring. Matt's been doing watch system as well alongside Arenka. His seasickness is gone now, which is great, and so we can start introducing him to his own watches, so he can do it independently, which again will give us, me and Arenka, at least more time off watch to catch up on our sleep, and more energy for the kids to be able to do schooling and entertaining and cooking and things like that. So, yeah.
Hi, so this is Wednesday. It is day 5, I believe. Yeah, we've just got our headsail out, poled out, and we've managed to keep a steady sort of 6 knots really, sometimes a bit more throughout the night, so that's pretty good. We are due to arrive sometime later this evening, probably when it's dark, which is not so good, but we can't speed up and we obviously can't really slow down, so that's the way it is, but it'd be nice to touch land again.
I think the passage was, well, at first I got really sick, but then I got better, like I didn't feel that sick after that. And I always slept in my mum and dad's room because it's the bottom of the boat and it doesn't, well, it's the end of the boat so it doesn't bang on the water. And also I love sleeping in my mum and dad's bed because it's so big. And yeah, I think it was 4 out of 10. Yeah, actually maybe a bit higher, maybe 6.
Okay.
It's over normal, it's better than normal. It's probably my favourite passage because I don't really feel that sick. And yeah.
What are we saying over there?
Yeah.
Like a little lump.
Land behind. Land ahoy!
Land!
Where?
There, you can see it sticking up at the end. Big volcano. The journey's been pretty good really. It's been a lot better than I thought it would be. We were quite worried about it because, you know, as soon as you get out of the Meds, you look at the swell and it's like massive. This Atlantic swell that comes in, and you know, you think, oh god, you know, you wouldn't go out in that sort of stuff. But I think one thing to remember is that waves, yeah, they are big, but they're spaced apart. But the other thing to remember is that you can wait as well. I mean, my top tip would be wait for the right weather window, just because, you know, look for 5 days ahead, and we managed to do it where the swell hasn't been bigger than 3 metres, so even this is quite big, and even though the space apart is fine, but I think, you know, 5 metre swell, I'm not sure I would want to be out here in this because it's still quite, they're close enough together to be a bit annoying really, and tiring. But yeah, the first few days everyone was trying to get the sea legs, so we were tired, hungry, no one's really into it very much. And then day 3, everyone kind of seemed to feel a bit better and everyone's eating again. And I think then we started thinking about a structure, because you know, the kids were on computer games a lot all the first few days, and we realised that actually need to sort of separate the day out a bit, and we started to sort of plan our Atlantic crossing and how we might structure that. I think it's a good start for the Atlantic really. A 5-day passage is good to kind of intro to it and start thinking about what you need to do for going on a longer passage. But so top tips from going to Gibraltar down to Canary, I would say wait for the right weather window, look at the swell as well as the winds, expect a motor some of those days. Don't worry too much about the swell though, because they are very spaced apart. Be aware that the weather might not be that accurate, so you know, you will be motoring some days.
We had to motor up, or motor through the Straits of Gibraltar up to Cadiz to get the best sort of angle on the wind. But even there, we ran a few scenarios on our new Iridium Go predictor wind software, and it turns out that all those predictions were wrong. And we hit quite a lull, and that lull followed us down, and then the swell picked up. So we've had quite difficult sailing conditions. Nothing too stormy, but just different and challenging.
Have simple meals, nothing too exciting, nothing too fancy, just plain meals so that everyone can actually eat, and have things that people might eat that don't feel like eating, little things like I had little yogurts and stuff. And try and get sleep when you can until you get into the groove a bit more, and once you get into the groove a bit more, then you know, it'll be easier to sleep. But at the beginning, you've just got to try and sleep when you feel you can sleep here. That's it. That's my tips for the day. And who knows what it'll be like arriving in Lanzarote, but we'll let you know later.
Yeah, I think all in all, I mean, we're not there yet, so I'm not going to say it's been a success, but it's been a good little trial. So now we're going to spend Christmas in the Canaries. My dad's going to come out and visit us for a while, and then we're going to prepare for the big crossing across to the Caribbean.
So we've arrived in Lanzarote, and it's dark, as you can see. So unfortunately we've got to come into an anchorage at night that we don't know, but we do know that it's quite shallow, and we do know that it might not be sheltered, and we do know that there's going to be some wind tonight, and we also know that the seabed is actually stony rather than sandy. So there's basically quite a lot of things that we do know that aren't great, but the other option is the port next door, but that's quite tricky to get into. So we could try that as well, and if none of that sounds good, then we'll just carry on going for another 17 miles down to the south, and we'll go in that anchorage, which might be a bit more sheltered. So that's our options. So we've all had a really good night's sleep. Anchor didn't drag last night, which is good because it was a pretty bad holding here. And I think today we're going to go into the marina for a couple of days, get ourselves sorted, and then decide what we're going to do next.
So having spent the night on anchor, we're now heading into Lanzarote Marina, but we've got about a 2-metre swell, and it's a bit tricky. The entrance to the marina itself is a little bit pinchy, so we're going straight into the waves.
So this is Marina Lanzarote, and it's quite posh really, and very kind of, I don't know, lots of lights. I think when you've been at sea for 5 days, it's just really weird seeing all these things. We're off to see if we can hire a car for tomorrow, because we want to go and explore the island, and then we're going to go out to the Jolly Roger.
What is it?
Boats!
Where? Show me.
On the AIS. Boats. Thanks thanks for watching, and especially thanks to our patrons who make these videos possible. If you would like to contribute towards the creation of these videos, then follow the description in the link below. So we would really love to hear from you. If you want to leave comments, you can go to the Facebook page, Instagram, or even the Patreon page and leave comments there. And don't forget to subscribe.
And if you want to do it, do it.
Right,